Did Russia just warn the world that India is being pressured over its energy ties? And in a world of rising geopolitical tensions, could India run out of oil if global turbulence hits? In this video, we break down what Sergei Lavrov said, why the US factor matters, and how long India's oil reserves can actually last. Stay with us. Background: India's growing energy needs. India is one of the world's largest consumers of crude oil, importing nearly 90% of what it needs to fuel its economy and growth. This makes energy and crude supply central to national security. In recent years, the landscape has shifted drastically due to the war in Ukraine and Western sanctions on Russian energy exports. India responded by sourcing heavily from Russia, often at a discount compared to other suppliers. Despite this, India has continued to maintain broad diversification, importing from the Middle East, West Africa, Latin America, and even the US, to reduce supply risks. What Lavrov actually said. Narration: Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has publicly stated that India is being put under enormous and completely unjustified pressure by global powers, particularly the United States, to stop buying Russian oil. He insists India is a sovereign nation that decides its energy partnerships based on its interests, not external pressure. Lavrov also stressed that criticisms of New Delhi's energy ties ignore India's autonomy and strategic priorities, and that global players should respect India's choices. This is not just diplomatic rhetoric. It reflects the bigger tug of war over energy in the 21st century, where nations want both affordable oil and energy security, and resist being told by others what to buy. Why this matters for India? So why is this such a big deal? India is at a crossroads where national energy security intersects with global geopolitics. The US has threatened tariffs and penalties on countries buying discounted Russian oil as part of its sanctions regime. A recent trade deal implied India might reduce Russian oil imports in exchange for lowered US tariffs. But India repeatedly clarified that energy decisions are guided by national interest, not outside pressure, a message echoed by both the government and Russia. This dynamic shows how oil isn't just about fuel, it's about diplomacy, economic leverage, and strategic alliances. India's oil reserves, 74 days buffer. Given this geopolitical churn, you might wonder, what if global supplies suddenly stop? Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri recently told Parliament that India's combined oil reserves, including both strategic petroleum reserves and stocks held by refineries and floating storage, would sustain the country for around 74 days during a global shock or disruption. These reserves include multiple underground storage caverns, and the idea is to protect India against sudden supply crunches, price volatility, or conflict in major shipping lanes. Official guidelines from the International Energy Agency, IEA, suggest around 90 days of stockpiles for robust energy security, meaning India is close but not fully at that benchmark yet. Bottom line, 74 days buffer gives breathing space, but India still depends on consistent global supplies, a reminder of how crucial energy diplomacy is. What this means going forward. So what's the bigger picture? India is walking a careful foreign policy line, maintaining strategic autonomy. It buys oil from Russia while also expanding ties with other suppliers, including the US and Middle Eastern states. Its reserves provide a valuable cushion, but not total insulation from global shocks. As Lavrov's comments show, energy has become a central battlefield in modern geopolitics, not just economics, but national sovereignty and global power shifts. What do you think? Is India's energy strategy smart enough to handle global pressure? Comment below. Like, subscribe, and share if you want more explainers on geopolitics and global energy.